Reading First Aid Squad, I would like to thank you all for coming. In 2014, the Port Reading First Aid Squad restructured the management of our organization under the current police administration with the support of the mayor and the council. Since that time, we've received their support, enabling us to continue serving the residents of Port Reading. The purchase of these new ambulances enhances our organization's ability to provide the best pre-hospital emergency care to the residents of Woodbridge Township and our neighboring communities. The color scheme matched with the Woodbridge Police logo truly represent the partnership that the Woodbridge Police Department and the Port Reading First Aid Squad have developed. Additionally, by receiving funding for these two new ambulances, the Port Reading First Aid Squad has been afforded the opportunity to offer our old ambulances to our neighbors at the Avenel Colonia First Aid Squad. They'll help supplement the services they provide as well. I'd like to say thank you to the Township's Police Administration, the Town Council, and of course, our Mayor. Thank you for all that you have done in support of the men and women of the Port Reading First Aid Squad, for the two new ambulances that we see here today, and for your continued commitment to the safety of the residents of Woodbridge Township. Mr. Mayor, thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be out here today to help with the ceremony involving these two great new rigs. The short story and how this all works is that when we attract companies to come to town by giving them tax incentives, the township itself does very, very well. And we have always had a policy of sharing that largesse, if you will, with our school district. We've done all kinds of field projects. Everybody should know by now all we've done there with the turf fields and the tennis courts and tracks and auditoriums and bleachers and you name it. I think even a couple years ago, Joe, correct me if I'm wrong, or Louis, didn't the very first Prologis warehouse, didn't we buy an ambulance here? I mean, a fire truck. Both. We bought both? Okay, so back in, the first Prologis was what? What's that? 07, right after we got here. Okay, so the first Prologis warehouse, which became Bed Bath & Beyond, the money we made from that we gave to the fire company for the new fire truck, and part to the First Aid Squad for new ambulance. Now with the additional warehouses there, that's a very vibrant, very successful office park project, or warehouse project, I should say. And now we're doing more with the First Aid Squad here by bringing these two ambulances in. So it's a great partnership. When we do well, everyone does well, because we believe it's our responsibility to share what we get with everybody else who otherwise would have gotten some things but didn't, because of the way the whole law works in the tax structure. And I don't want to bore everybody with that. But this is our great pleasure to cooperate here with Port Reading. And now I'd like to ask our newest councilman, Brian Small, who's personally, I guess, feels especially great here today because of his dad's role in starting and running the First Aid Squad here in Port Reading and his involvement with the Port Reading First Aid Squad. And as I said, he's in his third month now serving our township on our township council. So, Brian, you want to say a few words?
Sure. Thank you, Mayor. I just want to go back in time a little bit, back in the late 60s, when there was a bond referendum for the new firehouse. The commissioners and the community recognized there was a need for a first aid squad and put the extra bay onto the building for the referendum to establish a first aid squad. One of the gentlemen who helped organize that was Commissioner Vincent Martino. I'd just like to recognize him and thank him for his leadership. I just want to thank the 27 original members who started this organization in 1970, and I hope they're proud of us for continued support and how we represent this organization. I want to recognize Roseanne McNamara, who's been a member here for over 40 years. Ro. I want to recognize the current president of the Port Reading First Aid Squad, Jeff Golden, who forever is working hard to attract volunteers. And certainly, last but not least, Steve Weber, who without his leadership and guidance, I don't know what kind of situation we'd be in right now. Steve has stepped up and has reorged the squad along with the police department, with Deputy Director Niski, and the Port Reading First Aid Squad is doing a fine job, as it always has been, and will continue to do so. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. The councilman for this area, the ward councilman for this area, I should say, covering Avenel and Port Reading, is Corey Spiller. Corey, do you want to say a few words?
Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon. Beautiful day to dedicate 2 new rigs. On behalf of the council, I just want to congratulate Port Reading First Aid Squad on the 2 new acquisitions. It'll help provide services to the residents of Port Reading, but hopefully let's hope they don't have to use it too much. So congratulations.
Okay, now I'd like to ask Jeff Golden, the president, to say a few words.
On behalf of the executive board of the Port Reading First Aid Squad, we'd like to thank the council, the township, Director Niski, everybody for this great honor to have and to use these new ambulances. Thank you very much, and we appreciate everything. As I look around, it's one big family here, and these ambulances are a culmination of that. Thanks for everybody, and thanks for everybody's support.
Thank you, Jeff, for stealing my line about one big family. I was going to get to that. But the fact is that everybody here has the same goal in mind, and that's providing public safety for the residents of Woodbridge Township in general, and today Port Reading in particular. That's our job. Our number one job when kids ask me in school, what's the most important thing you do? I say public safety. That's police, that's fire, that's EMT, that's CERT, that's everything, and this is an important part of that. So we've always had a great relationship with the Port Reading Fire Company, Port Reading First Aid Squad also within the fire company. Let's just say it hasn't always been that way with all the first aid squads in town, but we've always had a good, rock-solid relationship here. So it really has always been our pleasure to help this squad. The guy in town who coordinates our efforts with the first aid squads and with the fire companies is Joe Niski as the deputy police director. He's the guy that goes to their meetings every month, has the direct relationship between me as the mayor, our administrator, our police director, and the squads. And he does a fantastic job as the leader there. He's got 30 years on the police force. People know him from his reputation. He's a great leader in this township, and he's, again, responsible for keeping everything under control when it comes to emergency management, along with Pat Kenny, who's more operational day to day, and Joe's more of the overall guy with the policies. I'd now like to ask Joe Niski if he'd say a few words.
Thank you, Mayor. Because of the mayor and the town council, they provided the leadership which led to getting these 2 ambulances. There were a few people who participated in this project that need to be recognized. First of all, our OEM manager, Patrick Kenny, had a big hand in this. When this project first started, Brian Small was our township EMS manager. He had a big hand in this. And certainly our lead over here, Steve Weber, and his entire staff. A few years ago, the police department was tasked with overseeing the delivery of emergency medical services in the township. When we created a plan, we made partnerships with our 4 first aid squads. And I just want to say that Port Reading First Aid Squad has been a great partner and certainly deserves these 2 new ambulances. Before we created that partnership and before we were tasked with overseeing emergency medical services, Port Reading First Aid Squad leaned on the Port Reading Fire District Number 2 for support. And I want to thank the fire commissioners, the career guys, and all the volunteers here for always being there for the Port Reading First Aid Squad. And Steve, to you and your staff, congratulations and good luck with your rigs. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Does that cover all the speakers? Well, this is what happens, folks, when everybody works together for the betterment of Woodbridge Township. Thank you very much.